Pitching is part of the success story. Mm-hmm. Also knowing what to say at what specific time, knowing what hosts are going for what particular audiences, putting out products and services that fit different audiences.
Welcome to Women We Should Know with international speaker, mindset reset mentor, author, and your host, Leslie Michaels. With audacious honesty and candor, the Women We Should Know podcast presents the wisdom and life-empowering insights of women who are the embodiments of innovation and social evolution. Please join Leslie as she shares potent conversations that will inspire your personal and professional evolutions.
Welcome back to Women We Should Know, the podcast where we always bring you the voice, the audacity, the courage of amazing women who always color outside the lines, women who are challenging the status quo by not getting into boxes that were not built by them. And today we have an amazing woman for you, my friend, my queen, Precious Williams. Precious busts norms and shifts perspectives to help teams own their awesomeness and bring out their wow factor. Your leaders and teams will up their game on their terms, in order to develop the cunning, clarity, and confidence that's been inside of them all along. This is what she does. She helps people bring it out. What's more, they'll get unstuck and discover a renewed and refreshed energy to own the mindset of the pitch in a way they never thought possible. If you're ready to go from, milk toast, really, yuck, ooh, milk toast to memorable, attracting and captivating your prospects while closing the sale in an authentic way, it's time to pitch for profit. And you can bet you're going to have fun doing it because Precious L. Williams is a 13-time National Elevator Pitch Champion. She's also been featured on Shark Tank, CNN, Wall Street Journal, Forbes Magazine, Black Enterprise Magazine, Essence Magazine, the movie Leap, and her current clients include Microsoft, LinkedIn, Google, NBC, Universal, Federal Reserve Bank, Intuit, QuickBooks, Yelp, Harvard University, and we'll just stop there and say that there's a whole lot of more prestigiousness that comes after that.
Of course, you might have forgotten Columbia University.
Precious is a dynamic international professional speaker, effective corporate trainer, and 4-time #1 best-selling author. Whew. I know you've got to have some strength to do that 4 times over. Precious, I'm so glad to have you back on the show today.
Girl, I'm happy to be here. Let's get it.
Absolutely. Tell me about this 4th #1 best-selling book.
Well, it's funny. It's called The Pitch Queen, A Woman's Journey from Poverty to Purpose and Profits. And we just put it on pre-sale just to see what the buzz would be at #1. I said, whoa, okay, it's coming out in September, but it's nice to take the temperature of the audience to see who really wants my 4th book. The Pitch Queen, I'm finally taking my rightful place. I am the killer pitch master, but it's time to sit on the throne and really share my story. For a lot of people, they think it's just homelessness, severe alcohol addiction, losing the love of my life. But I've had 43 years on this earth, and there's a lot of stories people have not heard, or challenges I've had to overcome that I was really ashamed to talk about. But the older I get, I'm like, no, it's time to put this all out there. I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever comes, but I also want to show people that there's life after failure, after mistakes, after choosing the wrong partners, after, failing in business, after people kicking you to the curb or thinking that you have no more value, to being where I am today. And the people who said I couldn't do it are now in my inbox. Like, how'd you do it? I believed I could. I feel like Tom Brady. I feel like he has so many Super Bowl rings, Michael Jordan, Serena Williams. I feel like all of them wrapped in one because I've been to the fourth quarter many a times. I've been to the Super Bowl many a times in life and in business, and I came out on top. And I think that owes to me being from the inner city of St. Louis, Missouri. I'm from the Show Me State. And so when it comes to needing to rise to the occasion, nobody does it better.
Yeah. Inner city, Southwest Missouri, that's a hard place. I've spent some time there. That's a hard place for anyone.
It's a hard place for anyone, but I think we've all had inner cities in our lives.
We have.
Whether it's in their mind, I think we all have had those times where, I mean, I know I've dated the wrong men. I know that I went against my own judgment. I know that I made decisions out of fear. I know what it's like to just make survival decisions, not even knowing that there is thriving after that, right? And that there are growing pains when you're becoming successful and people don't see it. They're just like, oh, you all of a sudden you show up successful and you're perfect. It's like, oh, no. I wasn't perfect when I started and I'm not perfect now.
That's right.
And I own all of that. I own every mistake, everything that somebody could throw in my face. I'm still the pitch queen. You know my name, I don't know yours.
You're still the queen.
I mean, oh, that girl, and a full-figure diva on top of that. What? Stop playing.
Oh, yes. Thank you for sharing your broader story, because it's really hard in our Kardashian world for people, and particularly women, to look at other women and remember they got kicked through the fences and they got back up and they pulled the thorns out of their tail and kept going.
Right.
Hard sometimes to remember that, well, it took us a bunch of years and a few failed businesses to become an overnight success.
You're when I tell you you're so right. There's a song about the Bee Gees. They call it Too Much Heaven. Nobody gets it. And I know that there are people who grew up with wealth. There are people who grew up with the right connections. But you're going to have some moments. You're going to. And just because mine came from my environment, I'm really blessed that I used to watch the A&E channel, Arts and Entertainment, when it was around. I'm blessed I used to dream of what places would look like and where I would go, and I would read these books, and to be able to go now on the strength of my talent. Did you hear me? I'm not in sports and I'm not in entertainment. I did it in business. I did it by speaking. There's nothing wrong with doing it in sports and entertainment, but it's nice to know that at 43, I still have value, and I feel like I'm just getting started. They say youth is wasted on the young. I'm like, I now see what they mean. But I don't begrudge our young people. They'll be here one day. If they're blessed, they'll be here.
And you teach people to do what you did to get yourself out of the thorns and out of the fences. You taught yourself, you had a natural gift and you expanded on it, how to convert conversation, your ability to converse with anyone, into currency.
I mean, it's necessary. When I first started pitching, yes, I only thought it was for media or for investments. But when you think about it, every time you're opening your mouth, you really are trying to roll people into who you are, what your business, your books, your brands, your product, your services, your relationships. So take advantage of that, right? Influencers aren't just what you see on social media. They're not just what you see in media. There are people who influence. My grandmother's an influencer, and she's been deceased for 22 years. And she influenced me to see beyond my world. And I think my greatest gift is not just the gift of speech, but my ability to package and position. So when people think about their businesses, they're so attached. But me being an outsider and taking this bird's eye view, I'm going to see things that are going to attract other people that are not going to be the things you think they are. When I think about pitching, people are like, man, I don't want to be on Shark Tank. I was like, okay. So then I said, there's an education that needs to happen that you pitch every time you open your mouth. Whether you're talking about that no good man, no good woman, that job you love or hate, this new opportunity, whether you should take it or you are the focal point. So I want everybody to treat themselves like the celebrities of their own lives. You're not a hidden figure and you're not a background figure. I don't care what your weight is. I don't care what you look like, whether you're differently able, all those things. I just want us to use it to our advantage. I'm tired of every time I don't watch TV, but there's always these debates about, women when they get a certain age, or they don't have a Brazilian butt lift, or they don't have six pack abs, that we don't have value. And for me, I'm like, well, if you didn't want to date me, that's fine, but my life didn't stop at 30.
Right.
It may stop for other people, but my life, or people who think that high school was the time they peaked. I'm sorry, that can't be.
Oh my gosh.
I'm still peaking. What you talk? My whole snack, come fetch me. Compliments of Cupcake. I love
ageism is just vicious.
It is.
I mean, now I've got years on you. I'm 65. I've got 20. Yes, I still have years on you. I still do. I always
she's like, what you say? Still a snack. I know.
But the ageism is incredible.
It is. And
particularly in the business world.
Mm-hmm. But I'm a chocolate Black woman in the business world. I'm a bigger woman in the business world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I love Seven Full Figure Diva, who took on the business world in one big, because I'm not supposed to. By most calculations, I shouldn't be here. Right. Now, there are a lot of successful Black women, Black men, women and men of color. Mm-hmm. Too often we just don't know their stories, or we keep hearing the same stories in entertainment and sports. And so what I love is being able to look out and see women like us connect and be like, hey, it's not too much of a difference between like ageism, racism, sexism, discrimination. And sometimes you're experiencing them all 3, 4, 5 at once.
Yeah.
And I just don't want it to, I don't want our inner limitations to go along with what society says. I'm 43. Right. Am I really supposed to be put out to pasture? Really?
Right.
Or do I have to look like a celebrity? When I know that most people don't. I was watching something last night, Queen, and it does go to ages. It was like, the more the focus on the physical. And I said, well, it's always been that way, but it's even more pronounced because fake is more celebrated.
Right.
And that's very scary, because I know our young people, like plastic surgery, mm-hmm. I ain't hating on nobody. I just worry about our young people, because the grown woman weight does come on later. Sometimes you pop up and the things you thought you weren't going to have, it just pops out and what? Or, I remember when my hair was falling out because I was stressed out so much. And I could have let that hold me back, but I was just like, no. I mean, I could change wigs. I could have look at me. I'm still a snack with my real hair. You see what I'm saying? I'm still a snack.
Look at that beautiful woman.
You know what I'm saying? But being able to roar regardless, being able to speak regardless. You want to shut me up? Come shut me up. You want to say we can't make it? Oh, I'm just amazed at the ingenuity of women. And just when you try to hold us back, it's like dust. We're gonna rise. Mm-hmm. And all rise at the same time.
That's
we all gonna go ham and cheese on people.
That's right.
Ageism. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. So my point is, don't you dare buy into it. Don't you dare buy into it. Any of you listeners out there, don't you dare buy into it.
No.
Queen,
do you think it's a blessing to get older?
I guess it is. I never put it in that context, Precious. But what I would have said is, as I got older, I've realized how much I've always been blessed. Often didn't even realize it. And even how some of the darkest, scariest days, because I got up at this point, I look back at them now and I say, those are blessings. So that's the only answer I've got for you.
But no, the reason why I brought it up is because we had kids murdered when I was in high school. I'm 43. Mm-hmm. I felt like I survived and thrived after poverty and abuse and all those sort of things. And, mm-hmm. I'm sitting here looking at this right now. Because, I did my second TED Talk was TEDx Babson.
I know.
This is handmade by the students. Mm-hmm. And there's something about it, like, I don't subscribe to anything. This is my ex. Like, I'm not subscribing to anything. I stood on that stage and I gave the performance of a lifetime at one of the premier academic institutions in the world.
Absolutely.
And from my first TED Talk, I got booked for paid speaking engagement. From this talk, listen, it's supposed to be a free thing, but people are watching and they're seeing what you're saying. And my TED Talk was on Free Your Mind, seeing the gold behind the hype of the glitter. And there's a lot of glitter and there's a lot of hype out there. But what has sustained me is relationships. I used to treat people very transactionally. But it's the relationships that have grown my business. It's the relationships that you and I can, fat mouth, be a text, phone call. We just go ham and cheese.
Yep.
Because there's no need, there's no pretense. I don't have to say, girl, I'm about to go on a yacht. You're like, oh, where we go? I know. You're just like, what's going on?
I thought we were just going to go get cheesecake.
Hey, we can do all that too. I've been at the Luminary. They have this rooftop restaurant called No Glass Ceiling, and sometimes I'll go up there just to look down and all the way up because near the Empire State Building. I'm like, man, I went from the bottom to the top, and it happened the way it was supposed to happen.
Right. And
I was supposed to go through certain challenges, and being the pitch queen. With my third book, I put my face on the cover of Pitching for Profit, the Bad Bitches Playbook to Convert Conversations into Currency. It was the first time I felt comfortable putting my Black face on a book and not worrying, will people not buy it because they think it's just, And even with this one, I'm sitting on a throne. And to say,
I gotta tell you, I love that shot. I love.
Girl, I was looking like a whole snack. And I had my you all, my friends, just like, which one? And I knew the one I liked the most. And sometimes it's just nice to have your friends, your true friends, who listen. We've been all over good, bad, ugly.
Yep.
To help you decide, and I think that's a good thing about friendship, but also about when you're friends with business friends, but transcend that, is that we all want to see each other succeed. Like your success is my success. It's like Ty Goodwin always says, when you step into your purpose, another woman can step into hers. So if you're not roaring at your age, and I'm not roaring at my age, the only people roaring is 20-year-olds and teenagers. I'm like, oh no, we got the roar.
We got to roar. I mean, every time
we matter.
Yeah, every time you have another bestseller, I am just over the moon.
I'm glad you said that.
You celebrating that next TED stage.
It's amazing. Like the stages are wonderful. And I'm blessed that people ask me to be on these stages. But can we talk about the times when the phone didn't ring?
Let's do. Yeah.
When you send out emails and there's no response,
Crickets.
You following up with your own follow-up, Oh yeah, I haven't forgotten. I haven't forgotten. And I often wonder, what is it that keeps us going? Because there's no guarantee in business.
What do you think it is?
Oh, I might make a crass statement, but
go ahead.
I got a lot of MFers to prove wrong. But I also got to prove myself right? I have the blood of the greatest woman to have ever walked the face of this earth, Precious Dolores Williams. And it is because of her, my grandfather taking me in at 15 and telling me that I had a gift that no one else could see and inspiring me. I also think about our young people coming up who felt awkward and never quite fitting in. And in my 40s, I finally feel like myself. I don't say 40s is the new 30s. I don't worry about any of that. I proudly proclaim my age because I know a lot of people didn't make it here. And also with every wrinkle or every lump and bump, I ain't saying it's pretty all the time, but I lived enough to see that I've changed over time, and the things I thought were important weren't important. And that's why I can tell you that the real gold is relationships and friendships and love and support. Because when that phone don't be ringing, when ain't no money coming in, you waiting on that invoice. That invoice been waiting on the invoice. I remember.
It's hard.
I remember when the pandemic first started. People like, ain't nobody hiring. I'm about to be like Tom Brady. It's about to go into the Super Bowl. Y'all falling back. I'm about to go in. I'm about to show you how it's done. And I'm glad that I did, because I think people more knew me into the pandemic and saw that I wasn't stopping, and that my clients weren't stopping, and that pitching is part of the success story.
Mhm.
Also knowing what to say at what specific time,
Mhm.
knowing what posts are going for what particular audiences,
Mhm.
putting
Mhm.
out products and services that fit different audiences, from your digital products to your books to live training to
Mhm.
being a keynote to standing and delivering at all times and being able to speak to multiple audiences, but still making sure that those audiences understand what your gift is.
Right, right.
So packaging and positioning keeps coming to me all the time. Like, you have to get the speech, but it's packaging and positioning you for the right place. And it's through a talent that most people say it is not really a talent. Like, pitching is dead. I'm like, okay, well, while you thinking it's being dead, let me just go over here and stack some paper real quick and show them how it's done, and show people how to pitch the impossible, or being a woman who forgot how dope she was because she is in a position that may pay well. And trust me, everybody don't need to be an entrepreneur. Just say that, everybody don't need to be an entrepreneur. But I do think we all need to speak truth to power about who we are and our agency, and having boundaries and stuff I didn't have. I took everything that people gave me. I said, I'm not, when I say no, no. I mean, you got out of yeah, I did, but it's not because I kept accepting everything that was given to me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I just know you are the vision for other young, full-figured, beautifully full-figured, but younger Black women to be able to say, she just gave me permission. That Queen gave me permission. And I know you were doing that for those younger Black girls who don't look exactly like whoever's on the cover of the next magazine.
But when you see me on that magazine, no, please believe I saw that coming years ago.
Yes, that's important for them to know too, that you held the vision. It didn't just happen, you held that vision.
We were just filming a new TV show for entrepreneurs on the West Coast last week.
Mm-hmm.
And there were times I was just look like production is a big deal, glam, all like, and there were just times, and I was just so thankful as I was meeting with, the people in production, the other hosts, the investors, and I'm just like, I almost didn't live to see it. I almost didn't live to see this moment. And so when I was talking to those in production, they were like, "You're so nice." I'm like, "Baby, I got a second chance. You don't know who you're helping, and there's no point in me being angry but I don't have any reason to be. I'm sitting on set. I'm eating craft services, which is popping. I mean, the food was popping. I have great people around me. I have people who are taking care of every need. I got my hairstylists and makeup people. What is it to be mad about? Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for making me look good. Thank you for hearing me. Thank y'all for choosing me. There's everybody else y'all could have chosen, but y'all chose the full figure diva. Y'all chose the chubby girl wonder. Y'all chose someone who is the pitch queen. And I established that on set, but I also wanted people to know that you have to treat people badly, because when you start making it up to the top, you really don't. And no one treated me badly. Not the billionaires, not the multi-million. Like, I was sitting like this. Right. 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 As we had Italian Day, as we had Japanese fusion day. I'm like, whatever y'all say. I'm telling you, craft services, fusion. You don't want the smoke. Who was it? Fat Boy. When I tell you the cater. Yeah, we were looking for lunch of course there's stuff every day, but man, special lunch every day. I was like, we're in a different thing. And we were all sitting laughing, chop it up together. And I just thought, man, what a life. What a life of highs and lows. What a life of being in Amazonia Genius, watching the next generation of entrepreneurs pitch, watching dreams come true, watching people refine as they go and meet with different types of people, investors, media. Like, it was just this thing of, I almost didn't see this had I not met the love of my life, had he not passed, had I not gone through the hard times to come back through pitching. And so I think back to the Tory Burch Embrace Ambition Summit, the first one she ever had, I attended. This year, I'm going back again live. And I also won the Tory Burch Fearless Fund with a Crew and Goldman Sachs grant. So you can imagine. What? Oh, Tori, man, you bet. Embrace ambition. And the strangest thing is the tickets are free, but you got to be picked. How did I get picked when I was homeless? And now it's years later and I'm going back again live. I've embraced ambition, and I just want to see other women do it at whatever age they are.
You teach women how to own their zone and how to own their zone of genius and get paid for it.
Yes.
Talk about that.
When I started Curvy Girls Lingerie, no one wanted to invest in my company because they were like, who cares about fat women? And that's when I learned that when you change your language, you change the game. So I stopped saying plus size women. I said full figure divas and plus size fashionistas. When I said there were over 40 million women, size 14 or larger in the United States, just like me, and we all want pretty underwear. But no one makes it in our size until now. And being able to show that there's a big enough market, being able to show that there are women who need to be educated, that they are worth it, and someone's thinking about them. And being able to get out there when they said we'd never make it done. We made over 6 figures in less than 6 months. To go on Shark Tank, to go on all of these shows and prove that there was a market, proving that we can correct our own direct home party sales, that we can go on a nationwide tour. We can do all the things they said that big girls could not do. And in pitching in different environments, I realized I had a talent because people want to pay me for it. And here I am thinking, this is natural. And then I took on 10 beta class because they wanted money for their company or to be exposed to other networks and taking those on. And that's why I started Perfect Pitches by Precious, because my pitches are perfect. I am not. My pitches are perfect. I am not. And I show others, I create the type of pitches and we can perfect them together. But I want you to see your company from a different perspective. I want you to see your career. Like, let's say you're an exec, let's say you're middle management and you're looking to be promoted, you're looking to be referred to something else. Pitching is truly life. And so if you don't know how to articulate your value and your worth and why you are the only choice that matters as a speaker, as an entrepreneur, in corporate America, service-based professionals, then you're missing a large part of people who need to see you. There are a lot of speakers out there, but there's only one killer pitch master. There's only one pitch queen. Just like when we think of the Les Browns and the Tony Robbins and the Mel Robbins and the Brene Browns, like that's great, but people never confuse what I do with them. It's because I've owned my zone of genius. And they own their zones of genius. Why would you call me when you can get them? Why would you call them when you can get me? So when you're talking about the only choice that matters, whether you are an attorney, a dentist, you're an author, and listen, a lot of us didn't come with a big check from Random House or Penguin. Well, can you write a best-selling book? And here's another true tea that my book coach and publisher tried to tell me years ago and I didn't pay attention. Do you know how many New York Times best-selling people are out there that New York Times doesn't even know about? Because they were selling it out of the trunk of their car at full price. That, they're not cutting in with Amazon. They're getting that full true tea. But they will never be known because, they got out of the trunk of the car, but they made a lot more money. They made a lot more money. They got known in whatever they would do. That's why when I came on Bad Bitches and Power Pitches, yes, I could have gone to, a big house, but I kind of felt like I'm going to be like a little rapper. I'm going to get paid dead last. I'm going to get 2 cents. And now that I've established myself, now they're coming back, but it's a different thing because I've established myself. When Forbes magazine reviewed 2 out of 3 of my books, listen, I didn't beg, borrow, and steal to get it. When my billboards from Times Square, I couldn't believe it. So that's my story. But helping, like I have a client who's a social worker. Now she's a corporate trainer at EA Sports. How do you take a social worker to being a corporate trainer at EA Sports? It's because it's about packaging and positioning.
Right.
We always talk about these transferable skills. Well, the thing about transferable skills is they have to matter to the place that you're going next, right? And so if you don't know how to package it in a certain way, it's gonna be left on the table. I also think with pitching and being able to teach people is how, in particular conversations, do you bring up your zone or bring up how talented you really are without people like, well, what if you're bragging? I'm like, it ain't bragging if it's true. That's all I'm saying. But it's not something you hit people over the head with every day. So let's say you're somewhere and every week, drop something in the conversation. It ain't like you got to drop, you just drop it and just drop it like it's hot. I was tired, and like a lot of women are tired of being the worker bees, but they don't get the real coins that comes from being able to bring people in, bringing your own book of business, being able to sell. And when you're able to sell ice water to an Eskimo, when you're able to sell with confidence, but also being able to know what people are going to need versus what they're not going to need. Being able to start people right here, but know where you're going to take them. So everybody doesn't need everything in the beginning. That's why I pitch. It's a juicy morsel, a taste of more to come. It ain't the full meal deal. It's just a little taste. Oh, well, I like that. Oh, well, come on, give you a little taste. Oh, I like that. Come, give me a little more. Oh, I like that. Now you got a multi-year relationship. Again, pitching ain't easy, but it sure is fun. And especially when you start here and then you start to see where it can go. I started off teaching people how to pitch. Never thought I'd be a corporate trainer. Never thought I'd be an international professional speaker again. Never thought that my books would turn out the way they are. I'm going to Maryland and Memphis next week. There was a time when that phone didn't ring. And I'd use every skill in my pitch arsenal to get back to where I am today, to have big companies be like, oh, what them rates? I'm like, oh, let me send you to my agent. Oh, yes, we got agents now. Thanks. That's basically what I do. Is I'm going to see things in you and your company and your book, your brand, your business, your product or service you're not going to see. And you might be pitching to the wrong market when this market over here needs you more. But you wouldn't know that, but I would.
I really appreciate that you explain that pitch is just a bite.
It's a little taste.
But we have all been put in that situation where our eyes are glazing over and 15, 20, 30 minutes later, they're still pitching.
Is it like this? You like, where the phone at? Oh, it's supposed to be paying attention, my bad.
Yeah. They forgot that it's just supposed to be an amuse-bouche.
Just a little taste.
Just a taste.
Bring me in a little bit more. But it's also, have you gone to networking events and after you get, my name is this is what I do, you start tuning out like, the paint drying over there. I wonder what that piece of prosciutto tastes like. You just be all over the place because you're not paying attention anymore.
Yeah.
They're handing you a business card. You're like, I don't even know who you are. So people ask me, do you have business cards? I said, no. Not at all. I don't care business cards at all. I haven't done it in years. No. I'm like, if you want to find me, you know where to find me. And most business people will go on LinkedIn and go find you. I also found that I was at an event and, people pick up business cards, but sometimes I'll put you on mailing list, which is not the biggest problem in the world. But most people are not going to go looking on LinkedIn. If they're just going to put you on, I'm good. You can't say I gave you a card because no one has you have a card of mine. It has to be from 2018 at the earliest, latest. I don't have business cards.
Right. So it all comes around to using the pitch to establish your value and then teaching women how to have these follow-up actions and these follow-up ways to address anything, such as, can I have your card? Oh, I don't carry a card. And giving.
But you know what? That does interrupts the pattern. What you mean? Not curious. But if you handed them a card, they're not curious. I'm on to the next.
Right.
Now they're like, who is she to think? I bet you're going to look me up, though. I bet you, oh, shoot, I didn't even know. Why did you tell me? Because it's not unnecessary. Until I make you want to care, you don't care what my name is or what I do. Until I make you want to care. So remember, a lot of pitching has to be with pattern interrupt. So I don't start with my name and the name of my company. What difference does it make? Until I make you want to know what my name of my company is.
Okay, that's brilliant.
Sprinkle a little of that.
That's a brilliant tip. And it makes absolute sense. What is the number one mistake you see women making when let's say they come to your course and they're just starting to learn to pitch? You've got to see where they're at, so you have to see how they do it now. What's the number one mistake you see women make?
The number one mistake I see women make is they'll bring in all the baggage from the other coach, consultant, or whatever, and expect me to have to defend against all of it. Number two, they think it's going to be easy because I'm the killer pitch master. And that if I bless them with a little bit of something, we're not to teach it. Really? So I'm sure you've dealt with this, Queen. Somebody might have paid a lot of money for some big time guru. No disrespect, no tea, no shade, but it hasn't gotten them anywhere, and they ran out of money trying to keep up on their money train. And so when they come to you, sometimes they want to get so much or whatever. What I've learned is when I encounter that personality, I don't want to work with you at all. Like, I just don't.
Right.
Because I'm not going to be held to a standard you didn't hold the big guru to. Some of us are big in the zones we're in. You just don't. She's always in media. She's like, no. So I think also just understanding that I have 27 years of excellence at this, not 6 months. And I didn't go to a brunch. No. I've learned ingenious ways, and I've had to because I'm a Black woman, because I'm a full-figured woman, because I'm a former attorney. Most people don't even know that. And I've had to think of ingenious ways to get out of the hood, to get out of the darkest of situations. And so my lexicon is vast. The tools in my arsenal and my armor are nothing to play with. And you will only see that when you make me go there. So you can throw up big names all day. I'm like, and where are you? Because I've been on stages with them and I ain't paid nothing. Okay. And also not understanding how the right network, pitching with the right network can open doors that you never saw coming. And so it's very important that if you go to events, they have to make sense. It can't be, if you're going to events where it's a entire pitch fest, I don't even go. Because I'm like, nope, I'm good. And I know you know what I mean, Leslie. Pitch fest all day, like 3, 4, 5 days. I'm not interested in it. No. Some of this stuff just doesn't make sense to me.
Wear me out.
And like there are great conferences. Don't get me wrong. There are great conferences.
There are.
But there are some that are specifically for speakers to pitch everything under the sun, and they are not who they claim to be. Yeah, I said it. But I also think that it's just important that if you don't know what it is you want, you'll be taken for a ride. And if you honestly meet the person who can truly help you, you might be under the impression that it has to come being blessed by this guru or that guru when it doesn't. If you created your own zone of genius, they can't bless you. You got to bless them.
Yes. Don't come looking to be sprinkled with fairy dust and then magically be able to go out.
Or if I take a picture with them, then I'll raise my cool points. I said, for lay people, that's cute. I said, show me a picture of a candid picture. Y'all just laughing and acting up. See, I got that. Y'all want the smoke. I got pictures of people who be like, oh, you know that? I sure do. I don't put everything. I know people think I put everything on. Oh, I can't possibly. I can't possibly. There's some things I look back like, I love that guy. Because we're laughing. We eating, we chopping it up. Those are the pictures that tell me who knows.
Yeah.
who.
Yeah.
Versus
the photo ops are just.
And it's cute because we do something else, but y'all be like, what we gonna eat for? What do you think what you think there's gonna be in catering today? Man, it's always good. Yo, I saw that. Look, did you see that? Yeah, I saw that too. Let's go chop it up. And it's been amazing because you'll be thinking, oh, I gotta act like this. Hi, I'm Precious Williams. So delighted to be here. Did you go, who? I'm Precious Williams. I'm blessed to be in this space, but you're blessed to know me too. You gotta be your own celebrity. You love Beyonce, meet Pre-Beyonce. Okay. Yeah, she's like, I'm about to drop the ball. She's like, yeah, she's about to go in. Oh God, she's about to go in. She's about to go with the word.
Oh my gosh. What's the next thing? What's the next big thing that you haven't done yet that you can taste it?
Changing my company's name because we're going into a new era. And Perfect Pictures by Precious has been wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But we're about to step into the big leagues now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to believe to take my name off of something
Mm-hmm.
and allow it to grow bigger than me and my team. Hosting a 5-day-a-week talk show. Building a media empire, but at the same time, I want to be the #1 speech communication solutions company in the world. I want to be able to work with so many different types of companies and not just show about pitching, but communication skills and how to improve them in such a way that it's already a done deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not enough to have the right words. Have you researched? Have you really brought things to the table? There's so many of us that's already assume we're not going to do our homework. I'm like, baby, I'm more prepared than you.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay though. I'm gonna let you finish. But I'm about to shine.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that I want my legacy. Not even I think I want my legacy is to show women how to always give birth to their next beautiful now.
Oh, I love that.
Doesn't matter what age you are. If you want to put a book out there, let's get it popping. If you want to introduce something that's never been introduced or you've been afraid to, put it out there. You're afraid that people are going to make fun of you, bring it. I'd rather them make fun of me. You're going to know me though.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to know me though.
Mm-hmm.
And even for our queens that want to be hitting figures, you still want your impact to be felt.
Absolutely.
I'm blessed that my skill set and talent has been around for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me years to understand that there was a reason why God gave me my gift.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I hope that as I step into my purpose, another woman could step into hers.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm going to get beat up, cut up, oh, she's you won't have to have it as bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll go twice as far.
Well, that's why we're out here, right? So those next ones coming up don't have it as bad.
Mm-mm. And understand that well-behaved women rarely make history. If you
Never. I think, the saying is they rarely make history. I actually think it should be that they never make history.
You remember saying, if you obey all the rules, you won't have all the fun.
If you obey all the rules,
you'll miss all the fun.
You won't even know who you are because you're living into how someone else said. You don't get to meet.
And I think a lot of people are
goddess that's inside of you.
And I think a lot of people are. And I don't want to make it seem like everybody needs to be an entrepreneur to do it. No, not at all. Some of us are so great at companies, corporations, nonprofits, foundations.
Yes.
Some people are great in their positions.
Yes.
But you might have forgotten to bring all of you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's scary to say that because I know people are like, well, I come from a different generation. I understand that. When I look at young people, it's not that I don't think that they're better. I think they're just different. But I think we were different. I mean, I think people are like upset. People are like liking Justin Bieber. I said, man, I remember George Michael and Michael Jackson. Sure, you don't want the smoke. I think looking at young people also reminds me that there's time. Mm-hmm. I may not have 100 years, but my dash has to count. And if my dash is associated with I had to do everything everybody told me to do, what kind of life is that? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My higher power did not create us all for the same purpose. He didn't create us all in the same bodies. He didn't create us all with the same skin color. He didn't embrace it. Keep reveling it. When I think of people who just always went against the grain, I've always been attracted to those type of people. I've always been attracted to men and women who did that, who were just like, yeah, they're going to dog me, but I'm going to have all the fun doing it.
That's right.
The people that we admire the most, they did something extraordinary. Whether you think they deserve it or not, they went against the grain and did it. They did. The ones who follow behind and have the great Hollywood look, go for it. Do what you got to do. But I'm gonna show you how to ball when all odds are against you.
You got to do it. You got to do it. If you want to feel what it feels like to be whole, you have to play full out as you all the time. Full out.
I think it's like things have to fall apart before they come together. So falling apart from society standards, familiar standards, cultural standards, to be a new creation is hard. But they're gonna laugh, they're gonna ridicule. Something changes, and it's like, oh, because being a visionary, you have to see things before anybody else does.
That's
And you
right.
have to go harder than anybody else can see. And so when I look at you, Queen, when we talk, I'm always reminded that there are women just like me who've been around, and I'm blessed that I get to spend time with you and other women who decided, yeah, I'm just gonna do it. Old blue eyes glistening. I'm gonna do it my way.
Well, and I just so look forward to our moments together.
Girl, you know.
It's so you just remind me to look at that place where I played small last month and say, oh yeah, I'm gonna remember that so I don't do that again. Not like I make a strong habit of it, but every once in a while I slip and I count.
Girl, who you talking? Girl.
I count on friends like you to say, no, that doesn't look like you.
Like,
Not
nah.
working.
You playing yourself too small, Queen. Go big.
Yeah.
Go bigger.
Yeah.
It's like this year's always been about dream big, ask bigger. Ask bigger than what they're offering. Dream bigger than you've ever dreamed, but you got to ask bigger.
Mhm.
Whatever they bring to the table, negotiate. Go big. And dream big and ask bigger. Ask bigger of yourself. Ask bigger of everybody around you.
Mm-hmm.
You say you're worth it. Go show them, shocking all the world. See what happens.
Isn't it an amazing thing when you tell them you're worth it and you don't argue for the case? You just say, it's not worth it. It's
Girl, drop that dramatic pause on
all percentage of what you are going to gain. And your people are going to gain, and then they understand, oh yeah, that's the truth. But you have to get to that place inside of yourself before you can actually say it with conviction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know it takes time.
Every day.
But that's why you
all
have the
day,
great friends around.
You have to have great friends around, but you every day, all day are helping women to do that. You got to have great mentors. You have to have great coaches, and you are that, Precious. You are that. Now,
Thank you,
sit
Queen.
here and carry on for a while, but you have places to be and important people to talk to. So we're going to have.
Well, you know, we important too. You know.
Thank you so much for jumping on here with me today. And for all you out there listening, now I'm going to do what I always do. I will have all of Precious's contact information, her book links, her every single thing she wants to share with you. It will be on her program notes. So go there, see that, like, subscribe, and who is that friend? Who's that friend you have who's still playing small, who still is shying away, hiding behind the curtains a little bit? Send this episode to her. Send her a gift. Send her a gift. Let Precious inspire her to step out a little bit. Okay? Thank you, my queen. And I know every one of you got several nuggets that you're going to carry along in your pocket today. Don't forget to take it out and roll it around in your hand a little bit here and there and feel what does that have to say to you? What's that giving you? What's that asking of you?
Mm-hmm.
And as you go through the day, remember, you truly are stronger and wiser than you know.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We hope you received inspiration for expanding your own social innovation and influence. Help us inspire others by sharing this episode and leaving your comments over at lesliemichaels.com/podcast. For more tips, insights, and support in creating a fully audacious, professional, and personal lifestyle you love, visit our Women We Should Know community on Facebook.